What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So I told y'all in the other video that Courtney's out here, Mike's out here as well, and Josh. But this video is going to be talking about Courtney's car. This is the Procharged Coyote. Y'all seen it on the video. You've seen it on his paint and paper hustle. Go check out his YouTube channel, the Paint and Paper Hustle. Procharged Coyote in a Comet. This thing is pretty cool. It looks good. Check it out, Courtney. Guys. Did you sleep any last night?
Actually, I did.
Did you sleep well? Don't lie.
Yes, so I was more nervous going to TKM because I've already had PST, whatever it is there. It's already been blowed up. But coming to the track, no, it wasn't nowhere near as bad as going to TKM.
Okay, so the car is ready. So you slept good last night. We made some suspension changes, just trying to get a baseline. Yeah. So we're a little bit over 100% anti-squat. So he's got some good stuff on this. He's got the full build on this car on his channel, the Paint and Paper Hustle. All right, so here's under the back of the car. He's got the anti-roll bar. He's got the low prep brackets from 10 Soldiers on the front. You can see the bar angles. It's kind of hard to see, but the bottom bar is basically pointing uphill a little bit. The top bar is pointing downhill just a tad. So everything should be good with this. And this is the first time making a pass and doing a burnout and all that stuff. So it's one of those things. You have to take your time. He's already nut and bolted everything to make sure everything is nice and tight. So we'll get in there and get it so that make a couple little partial passes before we get out all the way on it. But this is going to be pretty cool. This is taking a brand new car to the track is always a little nerve-wracking, but it's always fun as well. Warm it up in the pits. I didn't even think about that. This thing's got multiple seats, so we'll just go through the pits and it should shift. I've got it so it'll shift at 2,500 RPMs. So we'll see if it'll shift real fast. I'm gonna just manually shift it. I'm gonna probably just do it by feel. It'll probably be like 5,000 to 6,000.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
A blower car can foot brake pretty hard, so I mean, I'll build it up a little bit and then just kind of go. I mean, it shouldn't be super fast. We ain't gonna try to go fast. We're just trying to make sure everything is working. Hey, I like the mirror because I can see the GoPro.
Yep.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Make sure.
What was that noise?
Just a street car, baby.
Street car.
Make sure your secondary one. Yep. You can go ahead and kick it on if you want to. I don't even have it in frame, I don't think, because I was looking up watching the damn car.
All right, guys. Well, that was not a bad pass. 591, 151, 6 foot, 121.98. Not bad. All right. All right, Courtney, we got one pass, man. The car feels good. So, what'd you think? Did it look good?
Yeah.
You liked it?
I'm amazed. Honestly, I'm amazed. So, John said that we were just making a little shakedown.
No, I did not.
He told me that I need to just do baby steps. And then he strapped in and sent it.
So yeah. So Courtney and Michael built this car. So they've done a great job on it. And it looks phenomenal. We messed with the suspension a little bit from your house. It was a phone a friend. So we did that. I told you what I thought it needed to be at for the rear suspension wise. So that was like, what, Friday night? So he made all those changes. Yeah, so he got all that stuff done, scaled it out. He told y'all he's never had a race car, so this is his first experience. Kevin at TKM put a tune-up in it that was pretty safe. And so, you know, just shaking it down, I mean, it made 700 horsepower. I mean, that's one of those things coming from nothing. I mean, you've never been in a race car, never made a pass. That's what I offered. I was like, hey, well, I'll shake it down for you if you want me to. So
because you don't, I don't know what to look for. So
that's right. He don't know what.
If I got out the car, John would have said, "How did it feel?" And you'd probably been so overwhelmed with adrenaline from making the pass that I would not be able to provide any helpful feedback.
Right, and you don't know what's good and what's bad. I mean, did you have to turn the wheel to the left or right, or I mean, what did it feel like? Was it shaking? Was it vibrating? Now, granted, them dumps under the seats are, I mean, they're pretty violent. It was shaking my butt pretty hard. But so we made a shakedown, man, and so. Courtney, the plan with Courtney was, like you said, make a 60-foot pass, do a burnout. But for me, since I've got a little bit more experience and, you know, everything looks good and I know the tune is good, I just said, okay, well, if it feels good, we'll go ahead and run it out. My plan wasn't really to go full throttle the whole way, but you don't have very much throttle. And so the trans brake was not working. So we went in here and made a pass. So this is the actual pass. Data log starts right here. Basically, I just foot brake. I think it was set up at what, 50% throttle? Is that what it was? Or yeah. No, 3,000 RPM. It started at 3,000 RPM. So what we did is I foot braked it up to like 2,000 RPM. Tree come down and boom, I hit the gas. And you can see all the information here. Red line is RPM. Blue line is boost. And of course, with a blower car, the more RPM you get, the higher the boost. So we sent it, my plan was to shift it at 6,000 or when it felt good. So there went 6,000. So it felt good like right there. So I shifted it at like 7,200. Converter fell back, grabbed the motor 6,100. Boost drops back down to 12.3. And you see it calms back up. Now, second gear, I did short shift it a little bit, 7,100, almost 7,082. And then it falls back and then hops in third gear there. And, you know, it's rolling on out. You're wondering why there's only one pass so far. So the reason there's only one pass so far, if you look at this line right here, this yellow line, that is fuel pressure. So we're having some type of fuel pressure issue. You can see over here, we've got fuel pressure is down to 34 PSI. Now, of course, you can't see this stuff when you're making a pass. You're just, you know, you're depending on everything to work the way it should. Right here at the beginning of the pass, we have 55. Now, as this thing makes boost, it should generally rise about 1 to 1. It raised a little bit more than 1 to 1, but we got up to 89 pounds of fuel pressure. So that's a little on the high side. But then it started coming back down some. And so that's about where it probably should have been, so in that 70-pound range, since we had, you know, 13, 14 pounds of boost. But so what had happened was there's a sharp drop right here. And so we're cruising on along, and fuel pressure is pretty good. It's pretty consistent, 70, 72. And then we get a little spike here. And then all of a sudden, it drops from 78 in a split second. Now, granted, you know, I'm still wide open throttle. This is full throttle. It drops to 47, and then you can see the fuel pressure. It tries to recover a little bit here, but then it goes ahead and just continues to fall. You know, luckily, ECU is one of those things, Holly Dominator, Jesus take the wheel. You got some correction factor allowing it to correct. It probably was a little bit fat in there anyway, but the fuel pressure has now dropped real low, and it's still starting to correct some. I would have expected it to correct a little bit more than that with the amount of fuel pressure that it dropped. So one of the things we're thinking, how big is that fuel tank you got?
15 gallons.
So he's got a 15-gallon fuel tank. He's got a Magna Fuel 750 inline that is external off of a sump. And then he's got an internal is it an A1000?
A1000.
So it's an internal A1000, and they Y together, and that way we have plenty of fuel flow, right? So that big of a cell, we're thinking that this is about the time this car doesn't have a G meter. But if you think about it, the fuel sloshes back here, and then it starts kind of coming back toward the front. Maybe it's a fuel slosh issue, and it's pulling air from the secondary pump, from the in-tank pump, not the secondary, from the primary pump. And so maybe we're introducing air in there, and that's aerating, and of course you won't have any fuel pressure when that happens. Now, out here past the run, I mean, the fuel pressure is down to 13. Let's see, let's shrink this back up and see if it comes back up.
If it recovers. So it does start to recover?
Yeah, it does start to recover some, and then it goes up to 27. But there's something clearly happening.
So in my unprofessional opinion, some other people might wonder too, is if it sloshed back and if it put air in the system, how long does it take to get the air out?
Right.
Like, could that be it? Like working its air out and then trying to...
Possibly. Because right here we're at 25 seconds, and you see it comes back up, and now we're up at 43 PSI. But then as I'm accelerating a little bit, trying to get, you know, back to the pits, I guess.
I was going to say, what did it look like in the pits?
So right here is back up to 31 PSI. Something's happening fuel related. But look at this. I mean, the car was running right there, and it drops again. So at 1900 RPM, it drops to 15 pounds of fuel pressure, and it's all of a sudden drop.
And you were driving right there?
Yeah. I mean, driving, I had just shifted it into second gear, first gear, boom, second gear.
So I did buy the intake fuel pump used.
Right.
Did buy it used. So
maybe,
never know, somebody could
right.
have been seeing the issue and just sell it. You know, I don't even remember who I bought it. It was an eBay deal, so it's not like anybody personal.
Right. So very possible. I mean, maybe the pump is not.
Rebuild.
Yeah, maybe it needs to be rebuilt. Maybe it's a fuel slosh issue.
And a rebuild.
Because we were talking about how high how high it is from the bottom of the tank. So we decided best to just make one pass, since we know it was safe, nothing hurt. I mean, because at Holly it was still nice and fat it didn't never deviate from target. So I think it's not a problem, but that's not something that we want to continue to happen. Yeah. We want the fuel pressure to be rock solid. Fuel pressure should be stable. So he's going to research.
Make some phone calls.
Yeah, see if we can figure out just one pump. Maybe the external is enough. Maybe it's not. Oh yeah, this is from go right here. This is the time slip, dude. That's not a bad pass for a foot brake and going 151, 390, 591 at 122 mile an hour.
It brought back some old memories for John out there foot braking it. He was getting at it. Well, he was having a blast.
It was, I mean, it was fun. I mean, it was driving good, and I mean, it was handling fine. It wasn't doing nothing crazy. That's the reason I was like, well, let's just go ahead and run it out. I actually chopped the throttle just a little bit early. That would have probably been like a 585 pass, which that's not bad for the first doggone pass.
And we're the blower, like the pulley.
Oh yeah, you're not spinning it hard at all.
So yeah, I'm saying like we're not. I mean, we're nowhere near maxed out.
So this is a perfect starting point for you, because I mean the fastest car you've ever had previous was
never had.
You have no idea. You don't know how fast it was. You just had street cars.
No.
So you know, this is a perfect opportunity. We know it goes straight. We know it runs good, and it was hooked up. Track was in decent shape. So I mean, I think it was pretty good. So where'd you get food?
That's what I'm saying.
Dang, I'm about to starve. He got those earlier when we stopped at the store. I already ate mine. All right, guys. Well, we are done. So Courtney, congratulations, sir. You got a pretty fast hot rod
Y'all
here.
thank John. Make sure you like that video. Thank him for making that pass.
Yeah, that was good. So next time, get the fuel pressure stuff figured out. Figure out the trans brake, which you don't necessarily have to have trans brake.
No, but the car is, you put it on your video, the car is going back to wiring. The gentleman that wired it, he said drop it off at his house and he's going to look over everything.
Okay, so just got to figure out the trans brake, but I mean, you don't need it. I mean, clearly that right there, when you get out when you make that pass, oh yeah, you're going to be grinning ear to ear. I promise. All right, guys, go check them out. The Paint and Paper Hustle. Awesome car. Later, guys. Thank you.